What's up, everybody? Today is episode 2 of Artistic Minds, and I've got a treat for you today. We've got JennCreation, a creative live streamer on Twitch that's actually going to be giving us a little bit of her story and how she got to be such a great artist. She was featured on Sketchbox for this month of February, and she's just an all-around great person. So, here we go. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start with introductions. So, Jen, if you want to tell the viewers about yourself.
Hi, I'm JennCreation, I guess, but everybody calls me Jenn.
Yeah.
And I'm from South Carolina. I am 30 years old, and I do art, and I paint, and I draw, and I crochet, and I knit, and I do leather craft, and I make origami stuff, and I do some sculpting, and I've been known to make a few plushies here and there, make jewelry and do wire wrapping. For the most part on stream, I do watercolor painting and like comic book art, illustrations, that kind of genius. Sometimes I play games, but
yeah. So the first question that I have is, what got you into doing art or whatever medium you use? So like watercolor. I know you mostly do watercolor, but I've seen you do other things too.
I've been artistic since before I could remember. Like, to my mom's utter dismay, I used to carve into the furniture and draw stars and stuff. Oh yeah, I just did a lot of stuff. And then they decided that a pencil, crayons, and paper was a better alternative to that.
Yeah.
So I was in all the art classes growing up in school. I took, 9 different art classes in high school. I took 5 art classes. I took 2 sculpture classes. I took 2 photography classes. I never did go to college for art, but I did have a scholarship to go to the Art Institute of Charleston, and I didn't go because I couldn't afford it. It's expensive. Art school is expensive. I just basically screwed everything up until I figured out how it worked.
And I mean, look at you now. You're like, high tier Twitch streamer. Yeah. So basically, you've been doing art for your entire life, and there was really no switching it off.
No, I'm always making something. I'm really fidgety.
Yeah.
So my hands gotta be doing something.
Yeah, right.
Like all the time. Like I'm touching everything.
Do you have any special projects or anything coming up in the near future or distant future or anything like that?
There was one thing that I started working on a few years ago. It was a comic book, but I still am hesitant to start working on it because I keep changing my mind. It's a comic book about this girl. Her name's Odessa. She goes by O, and she has superpowers. She can communicate with any sentient being in the universe, and she can teleport to any planet in the universe that has sentient life on it. But the thing is, with her teleportation powers, she has to have like an hour or 2 to acclimate to the atmosphere and the gravity of that specific planet, so she can't use her powers while that's happening. But she's got a best friend named Warwick, who is an ocelot, is a big kitty cat.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the smart one, the super smart one. She is very impulsive, and they get into all kinds of shenanigans because she gets information from Mr. Arrow, who is an ancient being that lives on Earth that speaks in riddles and tells her about these places. And instead of trying to figure out these riddles, she's just like, oh, okay, I know where it is, let's go there. And we go there and get attacked by dinosaurs from planet Zoltron or whatever.
What a great idea.
She's got blue hair. She's my main...
We can actually, we can put up a picture for the viewers so they can see it.
There's Odessa.
Yeah.
She goes by O.
Yeah, if you can send me a high res of that, or if I can find a high res of that, and I'll put it.
I have it scanned in. I can send it to you.
Okay, cool.
And one thing about her is she doesn't have any memories from before she was about 4 years old. She was discovered by a couple, and they took her in and raised her as their own. And but she has no memories, and she has tattoos like these on her arms.
Yeah.
And for some reason, every once in a while they glow, but we don't know why. Something happens.
Sounds very Borderlands-esque.
Yes, there is a reason. I'm not telling anybody. It's going to be in the comic book.
The reason is spoilery. I get it. Yeah. The next question I have is, what is your dream project to work on? You never thought about it? A lot of people haven't.
My main thing is I like to be able to do what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. What I want to do. That's why I don't take commissions anymore. It's because a lot of the time people are like, oh, draw this, and I'm like, oh, I really want to. And also a lack of communication, and people, I worry that it's not good enough.
Right.
And that's so stressful.
I get it, yeah.
My main thing is to be able to just continue to make and create the art that I enjoy and I love when I want, how I want, and what I want. But
right.
To get that comic done and get it published, oh yeah, that would be...
So that's your dream project. You're already working on it.
Yeah, I've got some panels kind of sketched out already, but I keep thinking I want to change it.
Yeah.
Because the beginning of the first comic is like them on a planet together, and Warwick on a planet, and they're running away from this monster trying to get to these woods, and she's like, I can't do anything, let's just run. So,
yeah.
But I was thinking about changing it to have it, instead of jumping right into the action, it's, something that explains who she is, and I don't know. You could always do like a flashback or something.
Yeah, I opted to start in the middle of the story because it's better to start in the middle of the story and progress and then have flashbacks for the past, because you can retcon things pretty easily that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's just the way that I do it. We already kind of talked about how long you've been doing the things. That was the next question, but forget that.
Well, I've been streaming. Since November 5th of 2018. So,
yeah.
But it has been amazing, incredible, wonderful. I've met amazing people like you.
Yeah, I mean, you gained so much traction. It's like, well, it's because you've been doing it and like going all in for it. Me, I stream when I can. You stream all the time.
Yeah, well, it's important to have a schedule too,
right?
And something that you can adhere to. And people can be like, "Oh, it's 10 p.m. on Thursday. Jenn's gonna be live."
Yeah.
And so a lot of people could just pop in and be like, "Oh, hi."
This is exactly why I post my videos every Sunday at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, YouTube is just like that too.
Yeah, exactly. So it translates. If you're looking to get on Twitch or looking to get on YouTube, it's good to have a schedule to do that kind of stuff. As far as like getting down into like niching down into what you want to do, I know a lot of people on Twitch are they do multiple things. Like you do wire wrapping, the origami and the watercolor and all that stuff. But you also play games too. With you on Twitch, it's a little bit different on Twitch because everybody's looking for somebody that's already live doing whatever, and a lot of people just go for the personality of the streamer. So, but with YouTube, it's a lot harder. You have to really niche down and find out what kind of content you're going to want to put out, which is why I chose art, because obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
your art has gotten ridiculously good lately. I saw that one you did, the Geralt.
Yes.
Wow.
Also, to everybody who's interested, the entire video of this interview will be on my Patreon as a patron-only thing. And Jen, do you have a Patreon?
No.
No?
I was thinking about it. But I don't know what I would put on it.
I just, stuff like this. The full interview, no cuts or anything, is going to go on Patreon for me.
Dang it, and I can't show anybody, and they're going to make everybody go and, well, I mean, if I can make everybody go to enjoy your Patreon,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Teamwork. So yeah, it's going to be on Patreon in the description below. So if you guys are interested in seeing the entire thing uncut, and you got to see what we cut out of this. Some crazy things happened.
What is it? Oh, I don't even know, man. You have no idea.
Yeah. So, what do you want your artistic legacy to be? Whenever, like, say you stop painting at like the ripe old age of 97, and because you have arthritis, and
I already have arthritis. What are you talking about?
So say whenever you stop painting, what do you want people to look at your paintings and see? Like, what do you want them to think?
I want them to find inspiration, and I want more people to pick up a pencil or a paintbrush or Photoshop or whatever the fuck they want. Excuse my French, whatever they want, and create something. And it doesn't have to be a painting. It doesn't have to be a drawing. They can get into ceramics. That's the main thing that I want people to take from seeing anything that I've made over the years is them to find inspiration and to make more art and understand that anybody can do it. Anybody, even if there's people that they can't even use their hands, that they'll figure out a way to create something, and that's, I think, is amazing.
Yes.
If we have the capability to make something and just pursue your passion, even if it's not something that's created as visual art,
right?
Music,
yeah,
culinary arts. I mean, anything. Just
photography, screen printing, graphic design, anything like that. And that's something that I'm going to go into with this series. It's called Artistic Minds, and that's the video is going to be in that playlist. So this video being an Artistic Mind video is going to be included with a list of all of the things that we just listed off, and I feel like all art is beautiful no matter the medium, because you took time out of your day to create something, and that really hits home with me, and I'm sure it does with you, Jen, and the viewers. If you guys are watching this, you obviously enjoy art and like to know what the mind of an artist is like. But yeah, so
it's all over the place, man.
You have no idea. The next question is, and I have a feeling I know what the answer to this one is, but what is your greatest success and your greatest failure?
Greatest success? I don't know. Well, one thing that I was really proud of was I used to live in Thailand, and I painted portraits of Muay Thai fighters, and I made friends with the curator of a gallery at the biggest mall in Chiang Mai, Thailand, and I was a featured artist at the gallery, and I did this big ass painting, this big painting of an elephant, because that was the theme of the show, the art show, is to do something with elephants, and it was beautiful. It came out really pretty. I've got a print of it here. This was the painting.
Oh yeah.
That I did. And I was really proud of that. Another thing that I'm very proud of is the finding the art community on Twitch and being a part of that and making friends with so many people and learning a lot and sort of finding my path.
Right, exactly. And it just goes to show that you don't have to be like this amazing artist or anything to make money right away. Like, you don't have to start thinking about making money right away. All that stuff will come in time because you've been doing this a long time, and I never would have expected to be at the point that I am now 2 years ago whenever I first started drawing. It's putting that pencil to paper, it's putting that Wacom pen to tablet,
The 4 P's: practice, patience, persistence, and passion.
Exactly. That
Things.
that whole thing, what she just said, yes. That success aside, you did just get on this month's Sketchbox, right?
I did. That's right. I don't have the painting anymore. I can send you a picture of it because I sold the painting before I even finished it. I sold it. And
that's what happened with Geralt. Kat came in and just, she was like, "Can I have it?" And I was like, "Oh, you want this?" And then she tipped me to $125 on.
Holy bananas!
Yeah. And I was like, "Okay, fine, you can have it."
I did win this month, for the month of February. Well, technically it's January, but the month of February Sketchbox is coming out in the next couple of days, and my determination painting is going to be it's a fist, so like this. And
isn't that on the black paper?
Yes, it's on the black paper. I used last month's Sketchbox supplies to create that, and I won I looked through, there were like 30 people that entered, and I won.
That's awesome.
I'm really, really happy. So every single Sketchbox that goes out for the month of February is going to have my artwork on it, and it's going to have my name on it.
It's super, super good, like, having that kind of, I hate using the E word, but exposure. Yeah, but it's super good having that kind of exposure, because people who are getting that box are going to get your art, and that's people that aren't watching Twitch and people that aren't watching YouTube and that just don't know about you, and they're just going to get your art because they already subscribe.
I know, I'm really excited. I hope it helps bring more people in and to come by and say hi to the stream and everything. Because I've been getting the Sketchbox for the past 3 months. This will be my 4th one. And I've only entered the contest twice. The Sketchbox is awesome, but I would highly recommend spending the extra $10 and getting the premium Sketchbox, because you get professional grade supplies.
Right. Failures. What is your greatest failure or learning opportunity?
I don't like the F word, man.
That's why I said learning opportunity. Your biggest learning opportunity. What is something that happened with pertaining to your art career?
I would have to say back in 2015, I was the featured artist on the Artist Lounge podcast.
Okay.
Which is still on YouTube as well. It was a live stream on YouTube. It was the first time I ever done a live stream, and it was 4.5 years ago. It was September 2015, and I was like honored to be there. It was about 4.5 hours long, and I got to hang out with some really, really awesome artists. And there's 3 of us, so there was Sarah and Mike, were the 2, I guess, curators of the Artist Lounge. And the Artist Lounge is a subreddit, so you can find that on Reddit. It's a great community with a lot of really, really good artists that help with everything. It's one of the best community. Everybody's super supportive and wonderful in the Artist Lounge. And I've met some really great people and made some really great friends on that subreddit. So that was a really cool opportunity that I got to have. And it's sort of, if it hadn't been for the Artist Lounge, honestly, I would not be streaming on Twitch right now, because one of the friends that I made, the Money Man, is my friend. That nagged the crap out of me in November. It was like fall of 2018. Was like, you should stream on Twitch. Why aren't you streaming on Twitch? Are you just stream on Twitch, Jen? Have you started streaming on Twitch yet? You need to stream on Twitch. And finally I was like, fine, I'll try it. So and I started off with a 10-year-old laptop, a 4-year-old webcam, and now here I am. I've got 4 cameras and I built my own PC. I got a drafting table. And
I'm pretty sure I was there for your first stream.
I think you were. I really think you were. It was nothing like this.
Oh yeah, no way.
Lights, I got professional lighting.
Yeah.
But whatever. I don't need to fuck with this. Excuse me. I swear a lot. I'm sorry.
It's fine. I don't care. I'll just bleep it in post. It's fine.
Yeah, there you go.
So, as far as that goes, I guess your greatest failure would be not streaming sooner.
Yeah.
From what it sounds.
I wish I would have started a long time. I wish I would have started back before I went to Thailand, lived in Thailand.
Could you explain something about how your process is from start to finish on a painting? I know you don't do commissions anymore, but something that you want to do, from start to finish, how would you go about doing it?
Well, I do a lot of portraits, landscapes, illustrations, kind of thing. Reference photos are very important. Unless you are a prodigy or have a photographic memory, and if you've never drawn something, you are not going to be able to draw it perfectly from memory every time. Reference photos are used by all of the best animators, all of the best illustrators ever.
Absolutely.
They use reference. And I'll find a few good reference photos of what I'm looking for, and whenever I go to sketch something, I start with my canvas and I look to see where the edges of everything's going to be. That way it fits onto the canvas. And I do some little kind of mapping with my pencil, and I'll map it out so everything fits into what I want. And then I'll go in and I'll start looking at the details. And a lot of the times, once you get those points already mapped out, it's a lot easier to be able to see where everything else needs to be. And whenever you're drawing something, what works for me, because there's no wrong way to do art, is to look at every single point of reference that you already have and look at where your next line is going to be in relation to every other line that you've already done. It's not just, oh, draw this line, this curve right here, this curve looks like this. No, you gotta look at everything, especially if you're doing a portrait, because likeness is very difficult to get.
That's true. So whenever I do a portrait or anything, I always sketch it out in a sketchbook first, and then I take it to a light pad and transfer just the basic lines before I actually start painting it, and then I always look at the reference whenever I'm painting it.
I sometimes do that, but a lot of the time, like this is Domo Stanton. And,
yeah.
But with this, whenever I started doing that, when I was looking at the reference photo, I started with the first line I did was where his head was going to be.
Yeah.
And then I came down and I looked to see where because the edges are what you need to look at. I looked to see where his arms were going to be, so it was centered. And then I went from there and I started adding the details, and then with my pencil. And then once I was satisfied, I took my eraser and I erased a lot of the sketchier lines on it. And then I used a lot of ink as well. And I wanted to do comic booky style because he's a comic book artist.
Yeah, definitely. He's working on Sandman right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yay.
Yes, exactly.
And I was done that. That was awesome. And I did the ink on it, and then I started working in the layers with the watercolor. And watercolor, you have to work your lights. You build your lights up and add your shadows and everything. So you build your shadows up, not your lights, but you work on top of it.
Right, like exactly.
That. And then you end up with something sort of like this.
I think my favorite painting of yours is the Darth Maul painting that you did. But
a lot of people love that one.
I'm curious to know what your favorite painting that you've ever done is.
My favorite painting is actually, I like the Darth Maul one. I like that one a lot. But my favorite one is actually over here because it's so big. Over here. But this is one that I did in Thailand. Because like I said before, I painted Muay Thai fighters in Thailand. And this is one that I did of Manasak and Sinchai.
Yeah, that one's really good.
And what's cool about this is I used several different mediums on this. This is watercolor, gouache, ink, colored pencil, poster paint, and yeah, I think that's it. But you can actually read his belts. It's in Thai. You can read all of the stuff on both of the belts. He was a really cool friend of mine, and he's a champion.
Nice.
This is one of my favorite paintings I've ever done.
Well, that's good. So if you could change one thing about your artistic career, what would it be?
Have a bigger place to put stuff. Because right now I have a one-bedroom apartment, and I'm in my living room right now. I would like to have my own room again. I used to have, before we moved to Thailand, I used to have like a whole studio room, called my studio, and it was a whole room that I had to myself for all my art, because a lot of my art's still in storage. A lot of my stuff is still in storage, and that would be one thing that I would like to change in the near future, hopefully.
Or what inspires you to do what you do, to be an artist?
Everybody that comes by, and everybody that I talk to, all the artists that I talk to, anybody that has any kind of passion to do anything that they want, it's inspiring to me, and I love that. And you do.
Oh, you, me, her, everyone.
All of the amazing artists.
So, at this point, I think that's all the actual questions I have, but I'm going to hit you with a lightning round. And I learned this from watching other interviews on YouTube, and it's always something that throws people off, and it makes for good content. So we're going to start the lightning round here. All right, so first things first, coffee or tea?
Depends on the situation.
Favorite Coke product?
Coke Zero.
I knew that. DC or Marvel?
Marvel.
I knew that too. So, favorite video game? Current.
Breath of the Wild. Zelda Breath of the Wild.
That's a good one, yeah. Favorite video game, retro?
Ocarina of Time. Zelda Ocarina of Time.
Me too. Actually, no, Majora's Mask is probably my favorite.
I've only beat Majora's Mask one time when I was a kid. I even got it for the DS and the 3DS version, and I haven't beat it since I got it. But I've got the Ocarina of Time DS version as well, and I beat it like 12 times since I got it.
I've got Majora's Mask on 3DS.
Huh?
I've got Majora's Mask on 3DS. It's basically the same. So the next lightning round question: favorite TV show that's on TV right now?
Well, I really enjoyed The Boys on Amazon.
Yes, that was a good one.
Right now,
yeah.
That was really good, and that's a superhero TV show, but it's like more realistic. It's like what it would be like if there really were superheroes. It's dark.
It's super
but
dark.
I really liked that.
I also, if you guys are interested in watching The Boys, I have a link in the description for a free trial for Amazon Prime, and you can get Amazon Prime Video for that.
Yeah,
so
definitely watch that.
I definitely do that.
In the first 5 minutes of that show,
It's so
binge
good.
watched the whole thing in one day. It was ridiculous. I was like, it's over already. What happened?
Right, exactly. So the next question for the lightning round is favorite X-Men.
Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler.
Kurt Wagner. Kurt Wagner for the Batman. I love him so much.
Favorite Spider-Man story.
Into the Spider-Verse was good, but I have a couple of comics that are really good that I like. They're from the 80s, though.
Yeah.
They're kind of old. There was a story where Peter Parker was married to Mary Jane, and he gets up with Dr. Connors, and Dr. Connors fucks his whole shit up. And it was like a 5-part series, but it was really, really well done, and it was really good artwork. And the artist that drew the comic wrote it as well. Really, very awesome.
Exactly. Yeah. I think my favorite Spider-Man story is what is it? Is it One More Day? I think is it the name of it. The last two questions I'm gonna ask them at the same time. Favorite watercolor brush and favorite watercolor brand.
Right now my favorite brand is Graham watercolors. I have a bunch of them. They're awesome. Is Graham. My favorite watercolor brushes are Da Vinci brushes. These
Okay.
ones. They're blue Russian squirrel fur, and they're amazing.
Were they pure natural brushes?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I've got like more than a dozen of them.
But yeah. Other than that, now's the time to plug your socials and website and all that stuff, which will also be located in the description. But Jen, tell us all your socials and elevator pitch people to buy your stuff.
I do not have a website currently because I'm trying to integrate things to be all stacked on top of each other. But you can find me on Twitch. I'm JennCreation on Twitch. And my Instagram, JennCreation. And so somebody had already taken JennCreation for whatever.
How dare
and then I'm on Twitter. I'm trying to use Twitter more because all the cool kids are doing it.
I don't even have one, so.
I'm kind of crappy at Twitter, but that's pretty much where you can find me. I don't have a YouTube because I'm too busy doing other stuff. So.
Right, yeah. I understand. It's
my things.
You either do Twitch or you do YouTube. There's not really much of doing both. So that was the interview with JennCreation, aka Jenn, on Twitch. So we will see you guys next time.
Goodbye.
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share, subscribe, or drop a comment in the comments down below as to what you thought about her insight on how she's an artist and how long she's been doing it. As always, you can find me at twitch.tv/BrandonSuttonArt every Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time and every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you guys come over, show me some love on Twitch and show Jenn some love on Twitch and Instagram and all of everything she has. So links in the description for her socials and my socials. And you guys have a good day.